right, so tubeless. There are no tubes, much like a normal car tire, F1 race car tire. It's all about speed, but it also means when you get a flat, you do a couple things different than you would with the normal clincher wheel. Normally, you just pop out the tube, put the new tube back in, pump it up, and go. But with a tubeless tire, you actually plug the tire with a number of different devices. Today, we're gonna use Dynaplug, which is my favorite, but you plug the tire, and the non-Newtonian fluid, which is sealant, which activates under pressure, will then seal the plug into the tire, and you should be good to go. So we're gonna go through patching a tubeless road tire today, right here on the beach at Kona. And if you get a tubeless flat, hopefully your sealant will get it before you actually run down to the rim and you run out of pressure and you can keep rolling. But if it's a big enough flat and your sealant doesn't catch it, try to stop before you run the tire off the bead. Because once the tire slips off the bead, fixing the flat is gonna become substantially harder. We're gonna start with a Dynaplug racer tool. So this actually goes into the tire, and you may hear something like this rattle around, but the reason that it's a brass tip is so that it does not damage the rim surface. The next thing to do is take our Dynaplug tool. This is a relatively small leak, so I'm gonna use the regular Dynaplug, not the Mega. And you push this into the tire till you get the brass all the way through. And sometimes it takes a little bit, so don't be afraid. You can see there's the leak right there. And you get it, and you just gotta really... Okay, so the Dynaplug is in, just like that. And then this is the beauty of it all. There's my Dynaplug set into the tire like that. The Dynaplug just helps seal the hole, and the sealant definitely does its job, surrounds the Dynaplug, and fully gets that air tight. So I've got a ton of extra plugs right here, just in case I have a bunch of tubeless flats. But the thing that I wanna show you guys today is the epitome of tire plugging technology, and that is the Dynaplug air tool. And you may ask, what is a Dynaplug air tool? And I'm here to show you, that is a CO2 and plug at the same time. So you've got your standard threaded CO2, everyone uses these, and then you've got your plug right here. So I've got my flat right here, you can hear the air coming out. We'll try and get a little bit of sealant in. See the sealant? So I take the Dynaplug air tool, I crack the CO2 just like you normally would, so it's all the way in, just like you would with a normal crack. Here you can see I'm kind of running out of pressure here. I find my hole, my Dynaplug. Sometimes it helps to get it loose a little bit in there. And I insert it in. Oh, so you can see I've lost almost all the air pressure in my tire, but I've got my Dynaplug air tool in. I've made sure that the hole is inside the tire. My plug's already in there, and this is the beauty of it all. Watch this. Crack it. I've inflated my tire, giving it a little extra pressure than I normally would. We're all the way up there now. And then voila, there's my plug. Get that plug down, get a little bit of sealant in there. But look at that. We've got a plugged tire, a plugged and inflated tire instantly. So you gotta think, if you're having a casual ride, this just keeps it easy. But if you're racing, this is 15 seconds. You don't even lose the group. You've got this in your jersey pocket, you've got a flat, boom, put it in there. You can even see, watch this, this is where the CO2 comes out of the hole, inflates the tire, you pull it out, it's plugged, maybe wipe up a little bit of the sealant, you know, clean it up. You got these nice zip rims, you wanna keep them looking real nice. But essentially, I just plugged and inflated my tubeless tire in about 15 seconds. It's that easy. This is gonna give you a couple bumps for the first like 5 or 6 miles that you're riding until the Dynaplug wears out, but this is good for the life of the tire. You're gonna ride it, by the time you get home, it's not even gonna be there anymore, and you're just gonna be good as new. So just as an example, this is what it looks like freshly plugged. This is actually a plug that is about 2 months old, and you can see it's barely even there. It's totally gone. You can see a little bit of the plug material right there in the tire, but it's good for the life of the tire. Tubeless tires are expensive, so if you're bringing Dynaplugs or some other plug option with you and you get a flat, most of the time you can still keep rolling and not have to replace the tire, which we all know tubeless, setting it up is the hardest part. So what we have here is something that keeps you rolling on your ride, but also keeps you from having to pull out the compressor or go to your local bike shop and get the tire. So we've got a freshly plugged tire using the Dynaplug air tool, and we've got a plug that's about 2 months old that honestly, you wouldn't even be able to tell there's a plug in there. So tubeless tires on the road, not that scary, super easy to plug. In fact, I would say easier than pulling the tire off and swapping a tube in. So check out plugging, check out tubeless, check out total system efficiency with Zip. This is Chaz, making you faster.